Energetic warfare. How narcissistic parents feed off your growth. Welcome back to the Family Roles series Inside School of Soul. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and in this episode, we're breaking down a form of abuse that isn't just psychological, it's energetic. If you've ever tried to heal from a narcissistic parent and felt sabotaged not just by their words or actions, but by their sudden reappearances, their emotional pull, or even vivid dreams and random guilt, you're experiencing energetic warfare. Energetic warfare is what happens when narcissistic parents attempt to maintain power over you without direct contact. When you begin to grow, detach, or heal, they may not come after your body or your bank account, they come after your focus, your clarity, and your emotional availability. Because narcissistic parents don't just want to stay in your life, they want to stay in your field. Narcissists feed on attention and control. When a child grows up and starts limiting contact, setting boundaries, or no longer acting out the role they were assigned in the family system, whether that was the fixer, the helper, the scapegoat, or the peacekeeper, the narcissistic parent experiences it as loss of supply. And when that supply is removed, they escalate, but not always through obvious methods. That's when energetic tactics begin. You've probably experienced this. After a major breakthrough in therapy or after stepping into a new level of success, you receive a sudden message from a relative, a health scare, a vague emotional plea, or a memory of your parent shows up in your dreams. You wake up heavy, anxious, unsure. That shift in your internal peace isn't random. It's triggered by years of emotional programming that's now being pinged through indirect access. Narcissistic parents don't need to speak to you directly to interfere. They can reach you through your guilt, through family members, through programmed worry, or through sudden emotional drops when you're doing well. These aren't metaphysical exaggerations. They are energetic breaches based on deeply conditioned roles and emotional bonds that were never freely chosen. Let's start with a clear definition. Energetic warfare is the use of emotional guilt, psychic tethering, guilt by proxy, and subconscious programming to keep you emotionally attached, responsive, and available, even when you've consciously chosen to detach. This is not just spiritual language. It is grounded in trauma theory, family systems, and nervous system regulation. When someone repeatedly conditions you to associate love with control, disobedience with guilt, and silence with safety, your body stays wired to respond even after physical distance is in place. You might notice patterns like this. Every time you reach a new milestone, starting a relationship, moving to a new city, launching a business, publishing something personal, your narcissistic parent finds a way to make themselves known. Not always directly. Sometimes it's a relative saying, "Your mom's been thinking about you." Sometimes it's an email about their health. Sometimes it's a sudden memory or dream that throws you off. This is how systems reactivate themselves to stay alive. Let's be practical. This is not witchcraft. This is pattern recognition. Narcissistic parents use emotional leverage to create what feels like random sabotage. And because your nervous system was trained to manage their emotions from a young age, their energetic re-entry works through your own thought loops. You think about them when you're trying to succeed. You hear their voice in your head when you want to rest. You feel like something's wrong, even when nothing is. That's the energetic hook. Narcissistic systems don't need full access. They just need to keep you hooked in emotionally. As long as you feel obligated to justify your growth, explain your boundaries, or think about how they might respond to your success, you're still participating. That's energetic supply. Many survivors report fatigue, fogginess, guilt spikes, or anxiety that directly correlates with family contact even if it's minimal. These are not random symptoms. They are nervous system responses to perceived threat. If your peace feels unsafe, it's because you were trained to associate calm with punishment. That is a result of conditioning, and narcissists exploit it consciously or not. Let's talk about dreams. If you've gone low contact or no contact and still have recurring dreams about your narcissistic parent, especially dreams where they're sick, needy, angry, or suddenly loving, that is an emotional imprint. Your subconscious was shaped under the authority of their emotions. When that tether isn't fully closed, their energy shows up in non-physical spaces. You'll often experience this most after a big emotional release or breakthrough. You feel lighter, you sleep deeply, and then there they are. In a dream, asking you to help, or calling you selfish, or reminding you of what you owe them. You wake up emotionally disoriented. That's not a sign you need to reconnect. That's a sign your body is processing an old cord. If you re-engage, even in your thoughts, the cord stays open. That brings us to field management. Most survivors of narcissistic abuse focus on surface-level boundaries. Not calling back, not going home for holidays, not oversharing on social media. But those are physical defenses. What protects your energy is emotional containment, and that's much harder. You must ask, where is my energy still leaking? Are you checking their Facebook? Are you reading old messages? Are you preparing for their disapproval even when they're not present? Are you mentally rehearsing how to defend your decision to someone you've already blocked? These are the internal breaches that keep your nervous system open to attack. So, how do you shut it down? Step 1. Identify re-entry tactics. These are the ways narcissistic parents find their way back into your field after you begin healing. Common re-entry methods include Health scares, right after you go silent. Comments delivered through third parties. Your dad is worried about you. Financial bait, unexpected offers or requests. Nostalgia bombs. We're going through old photos and thought of you. Passive social media posting meant to provoke guilt or pity. When these show up, your task is not to analyze them. It's to recognize the pattern. The tactic isn't new. Your growth is what's new. The contact is a response to the threat your independence poses to their narrative. Step 2. Establish a daily energetic practice. This doesn't mean you need incense or rituals. It means you check for leaks. Ask yourself, did I give energy to someone I've already released? Did I justify a decision internally that I've already made? Did I alter my behavior to avoid being seen? Did I confuse guilt with truth? Every time the answer is yes, name it and stop feeding it. Awareness is the doorway to containment. Step 3. Understand emotional consent. Just because someone shares your blood does not mean they have the right to your thoughts, your heart, or your peace. You can forgive someone without reopening your field. You can love someone from a distance without keeping your energy available to their manipulation. This is not cruelty. This is sovereignty. Narcissistic parents rarely accept distance quietly. They escalate when they feel you pulling away. So if your healing is triggering more contact, guilt, or interference, that's confirmation that your cord is closing. Don't reopen it out of habit. Now let's be direct about psychic portals, the open loops in your body and memory, where they still have access. These aren't metaphysical fantasies. They're built from unresolved emotional trauma. Every time you feel responsible for their pain, every time you internalize their disappointment, every time you believe their silence means you're wrong, that's a portal. To close it, you must revoke emotional access. That means no more internal debates about your worth. No more wondering what they think. No more trying to make peace with someone who only respects power imbalance. Write it out if you have to. I revoke emotional consent. My field is closed to all interference. I am no longer available for guilt, triangulation, or emotional reversal. This cycle ends with me. Let's end with strategy. If you've gone low or no contact, you need protocols, not just willpower. Examples. If a family member reaches out on their behalf, do not reply. They are a messenger. You are not obligated to engage. If dreams persist, journal and reset before speaking to anyone. Do not carry emotional residue into your day. If random guilt spikes show up after success, trace the origin. Ask, who taught me that winning is dangerous? If you feel pulled back, pause. Do not act from emotional charge. Remind yourself, this pull is programming, not intuition. You are not paranoid for sensing interference. You are not harsh for declining contact. You are not cold for choosing peace over legacy guilt. Your growth isn't the problem. Their need for access is. This is energetic warfare. And the only way to win is to stop giving them the fuel they're looking for. Your attention, your worry, your silence, and your emotional readiness. That ends now. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and what you just watched is part of my signature program, the Chosen One series inside School of Soul. This series is not just a course, it's a blueprint for those who know they were different from the start. The black sheep, the scapegoat, the truth teller, the cycle breaker. Inside, you'll discover the family roles playbook, the golden child, the scapegoat, the enabler, the lost child, and how to finally step out of the part you were cast in without consent. How the black sheep becomes the goat, turning rejection into radical transformation and leadership. How to break generational curses and rewrite ancestral contracts so the pain stops with you. And how to recognize and escape modern forms of spiritual and technological targeting, from gang stalking to synthetic synchronicity. This isn't just about survival. It's about awakening, about reclaiming your voice, your lineage, and your destiny as one of the chosen ones. Click the link below to access the full series now, because the role ends the moment you decide it does, and the real script begins with you.